Hello everyone and welcome to Arizona State Hockey's YouTube's presentation of ACHA Division I Men's ACHA Ice Hockey. I'm Brett Vaughn. For Arizona State, it was a tough last weekend as they faced UNLV, ended up losing by the scores of 7-1 and 4-1. Tate Green talking about, especially in this week's practices, is they need all four lines being able to contribute to the play and be able to win every shift. Also for Arizona State, it's going to be new transfer Eric Cotton from Sweden. Eric last played in the Western States Hockey League for the Valencia Flyers. As Arizona State's going to be hosting the Central Oklahoma Broncos, number 10th ranked in the nation, an illustrious program making 4 straight national title appearances. And for them, this is going to be their first game off of the winter break, and they're looking to get off to a good start. Folks, settle in as in a couple of minutes we'll be underway here from Oceanside Ice Arena in Tempe, Arizona. This is Arizona State Hockey's presentation of ACHA Division I Men's Ice Hockey.
of Sun Devils hockey. Tonight's game features the visiting Central Oklahoma Broncos. Now introducing the starting lineup for the visiting Broncos. At left defense, number 27, Davin Burton. At right defense, number 20, Spencer Cortola. At left wing, number 22, Donnie Dano. At right wing, number 91, Braden Holt. At center, number 61, Niall Mills. Starting in net for the visiting Broncos, number 57, Cody Campbell. And head coach, Greg McAllister. Now, introducing the starting lineup for the
Hello everyone and welcome to Arizona State Hockey YouTube's presentation of ACHA Division I Men's ACHA Ice Hockey. And for tonight's starting goalies, it'll be for the Broncos, number 57, Cody Campbell. Campbell from Calgary, Alberta, won 6-3 on November 17th, making 30 stops against Colorado. And for Arizona State, it's number 1, Bronson Moore. Moore put in a great performance last weekend, but unfortunate to get some of the losses. His overall record is 7-11, and we're underway. Puck's going to be beaten down by the icing by Donald Danroth. Danroth tries to center that. It's intercepted by Levi Halston, the center on this line for the Sun Devils. Picked off by the Broncos. Mills with the shot. It was a nice kneeling block by Zachary Kowalchuk. That'll allow Arizona State to break out of their own zone. Folks, unfortunately, due to some technical difficulties, no scoreboard for tonight's game, and I'll try to do the best I can to keep you updated with the score. Davin Burton in his own zone reverses it back for the Broncos as both teams go for a change. Getting the red line is Landon Robin, and he'll try to rim it all the way around. Takes a weird hop on Moore. He's able to glove it down and find some recruitments from the bench. This is the Broncos' first game coming off the winter break, as it was games against their crosstown rival, the University of Oklahoma Sooners, as they ended up losing 5-4 November 30th. Cross corner dump, York gets it turned over, but that'll be easily intercepted by Moore. Talking earlier today with head coach Tate Green, as although the team was coming off of 2 losses, he and his coaching staff decided it wasn't the right decision to try to bag and try to prove a point that way, and instead really try to have an up-tempo practice using a lot of line work and a lot of competitive drills. Puck going to be cleared out by Jet Larson. It's kept in by the Broncos. John Studioso backhands that one out to the neutral zone. Formosa. He'll find, going down with speed. It's centered in front. Unbelievable save by Bronson Moore as he throws a blocker hand up. A great job by Moore. Pass it out of the reach of Yager Larson, arguing with the linesman that he was able to get a touch on it, but I don't think it's going to work. Folks, just added to another laundry list of saves by the goaltender for Arizona State, Bronson Moore, as it was a move from post to post, able to stretch out his blocker hand. Draw one by Gavin Klein for Arizona State, rimmed around by York. Yager Larson, fortunate to not get that one turned over in his own zone, as Arizona State has to regroup. 17:55 in this first period. It's a 0-0 game. Cross-ice pass to Studioso, and he'll chip that puck in as Cody Campbell rims it around behind his own net. Kowalchuk intercepts out to the neutral zone, but Dan Roth enters into the zone illegally. Pardon me. Paddling forward in the corner, Bradley Budman, the assistant captain. Floats that just out of the reach for Yager Larson as Arizona State goes for a quick change. Garrett Amaya just a little too late to try to keep that puck in, and it'll be offside. Folks who don't know too much about Central Oklahoma might be wondering if I'm mispronouncing the name of the nickname Broncos, but in fact, it is the correct name. Broncos, looking up in the Merriam-Webster's dictionary earlier today, is a term used for a broken Mustang horse. As I imagine you run into that a lot of the times in Central Oklahoma, out in the Great Plains of these United States. Jake Healy for Arizona State kicks out to Maya. Maya gets that shot on as Campbell's able to glove it down. For Arizona State, another thing for them to really focus on was to try to get pucks to the net, especially in terms of the special teams. It'll be interesting to see once they do get those opportunities if they're able to follow the game plan. Holston's in the draw with Chris Hill. Draw one, Adams fakes the shot, just tries to play it down the corner. Gets played back around, and a wicked shot as that puck was rolling from Amaya, and Campbell had to fight that changeup off. Gavin Burton a few tight turns around his own net. He'll squirt out to the neutral zone. Jake Daughtry on his forehand side as he'll cross corner that dump, and we'll go for a quick change. Kenneth Miller backhands the one indirectly, but Geely turns it over. So it looked like Davin Burton's skates ended up giving way, but it ends up being a legal play for the Broncos. Puck's down the corner, Matt Davies. Backhands that puck, good puck movement by the Broncos. Digging forward in the corner, puck's going to be squared out to Michael Wiggins. Wiggins unable to gain as he goes flying into the boards. On the weak side, the defenseman, Durbernick trying to get it through. Kenneth Miller able to kneel block that pass. Trying to operate it behind the net, Landon Robin. Up to the point. Broncos have some sustained zone time. Up to the point. Jared Guffey. Guffey gets that shot through as it took a deflection off of Palumbo trying to block it. Palumbo, a rim, but not hard enough. Kept him by Guffey. He rims it back around. Robin trying to center that one. They'll find a teammate squirting through. Moore goes back into his net. And a play by Jacob Lesters. Looks like two players both collided in the defensive zone. As the referee had a good sight of that play, deemed it legal. Arizona State finally able to relieve the pressure and able to go for a change. About the 15th minute mark in this first period. Behind his net, Jared Guffey, one of the few American players actually for the Broncos. A roster predominantly made up of guys from Canada. Coming out with the puck is Austin Cunningham from Edmonton, Alberta, and he'll wrist that on as Moore's able to cut down the angle and freeze it. Yeah, about three guys. We have Jared Guffey from Edmond, Oklahoma, Chris Hill from Hampton, Virginia, Drake Cartwright from Prior Lake, Minnesota, are the only Americans. Even a lot of guys from overseas, as well as Simon Hobbs from the London, UK, and Henry Hoffman, the defenseman from Bergisch Gladbach, Germany. Gavin Klein for Arizona State in his own zone. He operates, finds the shot through Jet Larson, and he had a great opportunity, but just missed the net. Alexander Math, and he gets thrown into the boards by the captain Kowalchuk. Trying to get his team into this one. Jet Larson on his forehand. Larson trying to get around as he's looking for the tripping call, and it's not given. Definitely a big play as both teams are still trying to find themselves into this game, and for Arizona State, it's a big key to be able to take some of the momentum, and using a big hit and using his big body. Zachary Kowalchuk just did that. Budman in his own zone, trying to delay and look for some teammates. Eric Cotton's pass will be indirected just out of the reach of Kowalchuk. It'll be kept in though. Trying to get that shot on, he's unable to. Digging for it right in front, and Beaver tailing that was Maxwell Lizaday, and he just fanned on the shot. Moore's going to have to come out and play it himself and just clear it all the way down as they're playing pitch and catch, the goaltenders. And Campbell's going to have to freeze up. As a scene, once that big hit from Kowalchuk in the neutral zone ended up giving juice to both teams early in this first period. Levi Holston and Niall Mills all in the circle. Looks like Mills is going to be kicked out. And it'll be Graydon Hole. Try one by Hole. Wheeling it around is Davin Burton, and he'll try to put up the strong side. It'll finally be able to be brought into the neutral zone. This puck's been thrown down deep into the Broncos' end. As Aaron passes an indirect play by the Broncos players, it was able to be gobbled up by Cody Campbell. Down low in the offensive zone, Levi Holston. He'll fork that across the way to Amaya. Amaya cycling back up to the top for Kenneth Miller. That'll be deflected away by Campbell. Arizona State, really their first offensive zone possession. Adams' point shot's not going to get all the way through, even with the help of Jay Keeley. There's a change on the fly made by Arizona State as the Broncos are lethargic out there right now, having to play defense for this whole shift. Will be finally taken out by Brandon Formosa. Formosa cutting right through the middle. Formosa is trying to get through there. Pardon me, that's Gage Joel. Rimmed around, kept in by Jared Guffey. Guffey, Joel, rimming around, and into the goal! Coming in from the point, Alex Durbanik. That was great work on the wall by Joel, and he ends up finding him for a 1-0 Broncos lead. as the Broncos strikes first blood in tonight's game. It's going to be the Calgary, Alberta native Alex Durbanek, his third goal of the campaign. Arizona State back in trying to dig for the puck. Kept in by Kowalchuk. He'll throw it down to Yager Larson. A quick shot on. It was a nice job by Larson to just delay enough to get that passing lane through to Gavin Klein, but his shot got deflected up into the rafters. Puck is digging for it. Kowalchuk's going to have to play it on his belly. And that's cleared, squirting all the way down, and it's going to be deemed an icing call. Draw is going to be in the Arizona State defensive end. Klein wins it on his forehand, and it's stuck in the corner. Still working at it in the corner. It'll be kicked by Brandon Formosa. Larson plays it. Could be a quick 2-on-1 opportunity if Klein hurries. Jet slides it across, and they score! Coming up with speed through the neutral zone, and Gavin Klein ends up finding the pass from Jet Larson back door, and we're knotted up at 1. Arizona State a good answer coming back after just conceding that goal. Something you like to see, something Arizona State didn't really have against UNLV last weekend, of really looking defeated with their energy once they were down a few goals against the Rebels. But definitely times are changing for this game. Gavin Burton pivots around in his own net, trying to settle that puck down. It was scored all the way out as the linesman raised his hand up for the icing. Something overlooked is for that hockey assist, it's always like to be called that secondary assist. It's a great job by Yager Larson to really make a hard clear out of his own zone to be able to have enough speed to get to his brother Jet and allow him to pick it up with stride, and ended up coming with speed and finding Klein for the goal. Holston wins a draw. Maya trying to throw the wrister in. That's blocked by the defenseman, Spencer Pertalo. Pertalo, as he gets pinned to the boards by Amaya. Burton and the Broncos are able to break out. If it wasn't for the clear, as Jake Daughtry thought there was some glass in front of his bench, unfortunately, as I think the Broncos players are awake. 10-15 in this first period, almost midway through, and it's 1-1. We say thank you so much for joining us tonight on the ACHA Arizona State Hockey YouTube channel, and please make sure to hit subscribe to not miss out on any future games. Draw won by the Sun Devils. Jared Horley unable to collect it, as Bradley Budman for Arizona State's going to have a soft chip on. Burton, he'll ladle that over just out of the reach of Niall Mills. Arizona State still trying to apply the pressure on this end zone forecheck. Pertalo is forced by a Horl to have to retreat in his own zone. Braden Hall has a good read by Kowalchuk on the far blue. Stuck in the skates, Eric Cotton fights off a couple checkers, but then he finally gets put down by the defenseman Pertalo. Dan Roth centers out one to the weak side. That'll be cycled down by Mills. Cotton digging for it. Kowalczyk taking the D-to-D pass, trying to get that puck off of the boards, and he ends up losing possession of it to Hull. Danroth around, trying to whip it around as Moore is able to fight it to the near post. Cotton. He'll poke it to Gavin Klein. Klein fresh off the bench. Trying to get around his backhand. Weak shot, misses left. Picked up by Yager Larson. Larson trying to get that shot off, and he'll be pushed down by Davies. York gives it over to his defensive partner, Studioso, but it's turned over. Formosa. Joel. Joel on his backhand tries to center that one in front. And it was a good job by Moore to fight through some of the traffic and be able to see Matt Davies releasing that puck right in front of his crease. Wrist shot on, as it was a good draw win and allowed Drake Cartwright to wrist it on. And now he's having a few words with Garrett Amaya. It's going to be another draw in the offensive zone for the Broncos. The far side linesman is able to spot an illegal face-off play, and it's going to kick out Levi Holston. Draw one again by Landon Robin. Robin trying to kick it up to his stick. Robin centering that one, no one in front for the Broncos. Holston turns it over behind his own net. Joel trying to hesitate, trying to shake Adams off. He's unable to. Point shot on as Moore kicks out the pillows. Another point shot, misses wide. Gage Joel will throw it on over to his line mate Davies. Davies on the half wall, cycles it back down. Arizona State, although not getting the puck, doing a good job of keeping the Broncos to the perimeter. That high chip ended up being deemed as a hand pass, and it's going to be blown dead. 7:41 in this first period. It looks like we have a good hockey game here in the desert. Draw's going to be to the left of Cody Campbell. Palumbo and Formosa. As again, like what we saw last week, the linesmen being very diligent on throwing out guys who they deem illegally taking the draw. As that was a point shot, it looked like Studioso got really all of that one, and Cody Campbell did a great job of gloving it. Palumbo and Formosa. Jacob Lester trying to get in for the Sun Devils. As it comes over to the weak side, Davin Burton. As it looks like it was going to be a bad pass, ended up by Alexander Jamaif. And it's going to go all the way back down in the Broncos zone with 7:24 left in this first period. Klein now in the circle for Arizona State. Battling for it, Formosa is going to be able to slow it down. Davin Burton gained some time behind his own net. Good read by Jet Larson as he's trying to gain the zone in, but that's taken away by Formosa. Now the Broncos trying to come in with speed. Austin Cunningham gets thrown down. Again, a big hit by Kowalczyk. Puck still loose for the Broncos, and they score! Great job by the Broncos taking the hit, and it was Brandon Formosa on that short angle side, and he puts it upstairs. A beautiful finish, a goal scorer's goal, and it's going to be the 14th goal for Brandon Formosa on the season. where it seemed like the Sun Devils might have turned the corner once they got that goal from Gavin Klein. And the Broncos, showing again the mark of why they're a national contender year in and year out, gained the lead back. Back again, as that was Studioso's stick being able to block the shot of Mills and up into the netting. Again, reflective of what the score line is. The shots for each team, it's 7 for Arizona State, 6 for the Broncos. Draw one by Mills, point shot through from Durbinick that ends up getting blocked. Guffey's shot gets thrown into the corner. Cycling out in front of this Maxwell Lizade, being alert, trying to pick up that high guy in the slot. Lizade not hard enough to get that puck out. It's kept in. Dan Roth and Studioso in the corner. Broncos have a great opportunity as it's another block shot, this time from the other defenseman, York. Studioso, and fans have to pay attention as and awake as they're in the bleachers. And it goes out of play. So the referee is going to get a new puck, and looks like it ended up being deemed blocked by the referee as trying to help his linesman out, and that puck's going to come out to the neutral zone. Broncos again on the attack. Rimmed around. Moore's able to stop it for his defenseman, Miller. Amaya, as he was trying to flip that one high off the glass, ends up going a little too high, though, and off the netting. Interesting draw setup, as it looks like for UCO, they really want whoever's going to be getting that puck from the backhand from the center to be right up against the circle to get a quick shot on. Holston, another good job. Arizona State, a couple block shots this period. Moore is able to gobble that in his crest. 5:50 in this first period. It's a 2-1 Broncos lead. Arizona State, again, you can show with some of the effort tonight, really trying to pay the price and blocking shots and getting in those shooting lanes. It's going to be another draw win by the Broncos. Robin in the corners. He gets pinned by Miller. Again, another weak play by another Arizona State forward trying to get the puck out of their own net. Moore had to be alerted of that short angle shot by Robin. In the neutral zone, Robin just going to elect to dump that in as they'll go for a wholesale change. Miller getting pressured. He ends up putting in a turnover right in front for the Broncos. Coming back to the rescue was Dylan Adams. And the puck goes out of play again. Very dangerous play as Arizona State have to feel they got a little lucky on that one as Miller thought he was going to have some forwards coming off the bench, but it looks like they weren't hustling enough or were trying to go in the midst of a change. He ends up getting pressured by the Broncos player, but luckily gets bailed out by his defensive partner. Klein wins a draw, rimmed around by Kowalchuk, out of the reach of Jet Larson. Yager trying to chip it in, but it's turned over. Aaron pass by Mikkel Vallerland, as it'll allow the Broncos now to gain some full head of steam. And another big hit, this time by Budman, as he goes off for the old school hip check right in front of the Arizona State bench. Broncos again on the attack, though. Klein gets his pass ricocheted and will slow down for the Larsons. Jet trying to get around as Spencer Batalo will pit him to the boards. With speed on the far end, Jake Daughtry can't handle it. He'll go for the tight turn in the corner. Studioso trying to win that puck off of him as he's pushing up against the boards. Burton, weak shot on is blocked. It'll land for Formosa. Formosa lays it down for Daughtry as the players are diving right in front. Formosa trying to get the shot through, and that'll be denied. Arizona State getting a little tired scrambling their own defensive end. Burton. Cycles it down, will come to Daughtry. Daughtry gonna get the shot on as it's Studioso with another block. Puck will be dumped in, Kowalchuk. He'll plaster Formosa on the boards. Klein will just chip that puck and allow Arizona State to get the rest of their change done and get those tired guys off the ice. Turnover by Formosa. Palumbo's trying to race to it. It'll be Michael Wiggins. Puck just comes out into the neutral zone, and Arizona State's going to have to touch up. 3:20 in this first period. It's a 2-1 Broncos lead. It was the Broncos scoring first, Arizona State tying it up, and the Broncos scored just about a couple minutes ago. Durbernick, he finds a stretch pass for Cunningham. Cunningham has had the puck stuck in his skates and couldn't corral it. Really aggressive, the Broncos again trying to cause another turnover. Adams with the puck stuck in his skates. Niall Mills, it's a four-man pile up in the corner. Jamath is now able to play it up to his defensive partner. Up to the point, Guffey trying to get that shot through, and that'll be sticked away by Moore. Fighting through it, Durbanix tries to wrist that on. Kept in by Dan Roth. Dan Roth to Niall Mills. Mills, as the weak pass is intercepted by Moore. A good couple minutes by this Broncos team of cycling through a couple different lines and the same result of being able to pin Arizona State back deep in their defensive end. As you can see, both of those University of Central Oklahoma players are right in front, as that face-off one was a little too hot for the defenseman Cartwright. Cartwright plays it off. Holston trying to pick it off, but he turns it over. Graydon Hull. Hull trying to find the trailers. A good job by Levi Holston to pick up the third man high on the back check. But his bad pass will allow the Broncos to have possession of it again. Coming up with the puck is Graydon Hull. He'll kick it out to Dan Roth. Dan Roth trying to look for the give and go. That's will be picked off by Kowalchuk. Puck's not really settling down for both teams as the ice is a little rough near the end of the period. And Bronson Moore will freeze it with 1:29. All in all, you have to say a good period for Arizona State. Definitely a better first game to the weekend than it was last weekend against UNLV, as at the end of one in that first game, they were down 3-0. Right now, they're very competitive in this hockey game. As that shot was coming through, Moore is able to block it up. 1:20. The Broncos are still having their foot on the gas pedal. Yager Larson, a weak chip, will turn it right on over to Davin Burton. Matt Davies will look for the area pass. Coming through with it was Landon Robin. It's still loose in front. As it's finally blown down by the referee, as looks like the net came off its moorings. Dangerous play as for Arizona State. There's a few UCO players had free sticks and they were just jamming at that rebound. And you have to say they got a fortunate whistle. With the net being deemed off its moorings by an Arizona State player, it's not going to allow for a change from the Arizona State bench. Klein and Robin in the circle. Draw one again by Klein. Larson thought he was going to take a hit, so he ended up trying to go for the chip, but he ends up turning it over. Puck's down the corner. Miller gets pinned by Robin. Gage Joel behind the net of Moore. Klein will turn it over. It's going to be the defenseman Burton picking up and pinching. Robin plays it down low to Miller. Arizona State, again, getting tired out here, playing so much defense near the end of this period. Trying to sit it down is Robin, and he scores! Landon Robin, as finally the hard work pays off for the Broncos. And with only 20 seconds left in this first period, they'll extend the lead to 3-1. As it took a little bit of time for Robin to settle that puck down, but once he finally did, he ended up electing to go for the placement instead of speed, and he picked the top left corner above Bronson Moore's right shoulder. Corley will win the faceoff and dump it in as Elizabeth gets thrown to the ground. Jared Guffey, he'll clear that one all the way out as York's fighting for it, and the linesman will finally call the icing. As it was good hustle by Alexander Jamef to try to beat that one out, but he's unable to. About 4 seconds left, and for Arizona State, it's really going to have to be a clean draw win and either a quick shot or a quick pass for a one-timer shot. Getting directions from the bench was Jared Horrell. Draw in by Formosa, and UCO is going to just be happy to pin that one in the corner and let the period expire. For Arizona State on what they did, you have to say they came out with a little more energy, a little more tenacity and effort, as the block shots, I could count at least 5 or possibly even double digits in the block shot department for them, trying to give their goaltender Bronson Moore a little bit of a break. But again, it's some of those mental lapses for the Sun Devils costing them and making mistakes against really high-quality hockey teams like we saw last weekend against UNLV and now with Central Oklahoma in town. Well, folks, come back in 15 minutes, and at the end of this first period, it's a 3-1 Central Oklahoma Broncos lead over the Arizona State Sun Devils. This is Brett Vaughn, and this is Arizona State ACHA Division I Men's Ice Hockey on Arizona State Hockey YouTube. Hello everyone, and thank you for coming back to watching for tonight's second period on Arizona State Hockey YouTube. I am Brett Vaughn, and again we appreciate so much the interaction and tips being given in the comments section, and thank you so much. As this is the start of the second period, the Broncos have a 3-1 lead against Arizona State. Draws underway. It'll be won by Mills. Campbell has a slow roller come to him, and he'll freeze up. Broncos look like they figured something out at the end of that first period, maybe getting their bus legs out, as they're able to really have some nice sustained zone pressure in the Arizona State zone, and ended up restoring a 1-goal lead and making it a 2-goal lead. Traw's going to be in the Arizona State offensive zone, won by Holston. Kept in by Budman. He tries to get that shot through. It'll be blocked. Holston on the second attempt, unable to pull the trigger. Davin Burton finds a pass through the middle, and UCO could have an odd man rush. Hold trying to slide that on over to Mills, and that'll be intercepted by Budman. Again, cycling it in the Arizona State zone, but it'll be taken away. Kowalchuk trying to kick that up into his skates. It'll come to the neutral zone. Burton, a D-to-D pass, and Spencer Pertalo will softly chip that in. Geely trying to fight off the back checker, but it gets picked off by Danroth. Danroth with speed. He lays it back down. Mills trying to pull the trigger, but it's stuck on his backhand. Down low in the corner, taking out it is Geely. Be intercepted, but it'll be kept in. And right in front, a quick shot on, and a second effort by Moore is able to throw his glove up. As it fell right to Graydon Hole, but Moore is just a little better. Geely on his forehand. Cycling in the offensive zone. Geely trying to look for somebody off the bench. It was a defensive play by Matt Davies, the Calgary, Alberta native. A few guys from Alberta. Great province if you ever get the chance. York picks it off. He's trying to look for somebody to pass to. We'll throw it down, but he'll get it right back. But it was an error in play, as the pass was a little too hot to handle by Aiden Sullivan. Puck's for him to round, and it'll come out to the neutral zone. Burton trying to dump that in, but that'll be intercepted by Elizabeth. Arizona State will go for a quick change. Matt Davies waiting. He tries to sauce that one in front, and flying into the netting was Landon Robin, as he's almost a benefactor of a great play by Davies. $17:55 in the second period. It's a 3-1 Broncos lead. Thank you so much again for tuning in tonight to Arizona State Hockey YouTube. That's a great job by Davies to really wait that, as you want to look for that saucer pass to be able to buy some time for whoever that teammate is you're trying to give it to get to the right spot. Broncos operating the offensive zone. Pass just out of the reach of Robin. Jet Larson, a little too hard of a pass, looking for his brother Yager, and it goes all the way down for an icing call. Broncos are on the State of Arizona road trip, as they have the game here tonight in Tempe, and they're going to go down to Tucson to play the number 9th ranked University of Arizona Wildcats, and that's going to be one heck of a tilt in terms of national implications. And a shot on that was off the post by Formosa as he put that wrister on. As the Broncos are able to find some open spots in this Arizona State defense. Puck's going to be kept in, and Moore, an awkward save as he ended up going for the soccer play and heading that puck as it was perfect height, and he ends up making the save. Something you don't see too much. Usually only see that play when I'm playing FIFA video games. Arizona State's now going to, as with the home team, are able to have the last change. Formosa and Holston to the right of Moore as he's just trying to rearrange the headgear as he opted to use his head to make that save. Adams backhands that in the corner. Formosa tries to center that one in front. Picked off by Adams. Kept in by Cartwright. Will allow the Broncos to keep the pressure up. Formosa. Area pass to Cunningham. Cunningham on his backhand side. He'll cycle it back down to Jamath. Formosa trying to find Jamath. It'll be sticked away in Arizona State trying to gain the red line. Garrett Amaya on his backhand. Amaya gets the shot on. Campbell makes a save, but he still has the rebound. The shot from Studioso in front. Holston trying to pull the trigger just out in front. Puck's bouncing. And Amaya with the bad pass. It'll have to force Arizona State into the neutral zone. With a good shift by this tired line for Arizona State. Although it is the start of the period, they're in their own defensive end for so long, able to generate an offensive chance. Formosa, a high chip. A little too high as the low ceiling of Oceanside Ice Arena gets the best of them, as it does for most opponents. As it was really Garrett Amaya, really the straw that stirred the drink there on that play, as he took the puck in himself, able to force the issue going to the front, making Campbell have to make a save and then follow up his own rebound. Burton dangerously in front of his own net, but he still has the puck with speed. Burton on his forehand on the left side. Centers that puck in front. Austin Palumbo's there to intercept, but he ends up blowing a tire and has to dump it down and commit the icing. 15:59 in the second period, a 3-1 Broncos lead. Central Oklahoma, especially looking back in the first period, have been doing a good job of winning zone draws. Palumbo this time for Arizona State's able to win it. That was Michael Wiggins able to take a check and allow Arizona State zone entry. Lester gets pinned to the corner. With speed, Chris Hilly. Hilly gets up to the neutral zone, finds Valorland. Palumbo trying to corral the puck in his own zone. Kicks out to Studioso. Studioso throws it in the air. It ends up being a interference call and a little rough stuff near the end, as it was the defenseman Spencer Pertalo saw the puck fluttering up in the air, and Michael Wiggins for Arizona State was behind him, so he was trying to find it. Pertalo ends up cross-checking the Arizona player Wiggins, but since he didn't have the puck, it's deemed an interference call, and for Arizona State for the first time tonight is on a power play. Trying to crawl their way back into this one, the Sun Devils are. The linesman's having a talk with both centermen. Draw one, a broken play as it came to Amaya, and Campbell is able to make the stop. Trying to slow it down in their own end. Some touch passing will find Budman. Budman to defensive partner Studioso. Studioso walking the line. Throws it down to Amaya. Amaya gets the wrist shot through. That'll be blocked by the defenseman Guffey. But the Broncos unable to clear. Touch pass in front. Amaya, I think, ended up redirecting that one with the skate. And Campbell had to be ready. Klein walking through, and that shot misses wide. Budman. That'll squirt on over to Amaya on the far side. Klein couldn't handle the pass, and it'll be redirected in Campbell's crease. And it looks like a little extracurricular activities with Klein, as he took exception to a possible hit or maybe some words that were being exchanged with him and a Broncos player. The referee was making sure he was able to be attentive on that. It looks like Klein's going to be the only one going to the box for Arizona State, and it's going to now negate the power play opportunity. Something head coach Jake Green's going to have to be very disappointed about, of taking an undisciplined penalty when your team has the odd man advantage. So for the first time tonight, we're going to have some 4-on-4 hockey. A lot more open ice for both teams to really showcase their speed. Kowalchuk will slow it down in his own zone. Good breakout play will allow the Sun Devils entry. Yager Larson trying to find Budman. Budman's wrist shot on the one-timer, misses high. Now the Broncos are off to the races. Robin, he's trying to get around Jet Larson. Good job by Jet to come back hard on the back check. End-to-end action here at Oceanside. Jet's able to intercept the pass in the neutral zone. Dancing around. Plays it to his brother. Weak pass by Yager. We'll find Cunningham's stick. And we'll allow both teams to go for a change. Moore leaves it for his defenseman Budman in his own net. 20 seconds left on the Broncos. Minor is that pass from Budman was a little too high for Amaya to handle. So now about 16 seconds of 4-on-4 hockey, and that you'll have about 50 seconds left for the Broncos on a quick 5-on-4 power play opportunity. It's a new player. Eric Cotton is talking with his defenseman on where he wants him. Formosa wins it, but a little too strong as UCO is going to have to go on a delayed offside. Burton gets his pass redirected by Cotton's defensive stick up into the rafters. 13:30 in the second period. It's a 3-1 Broncos lead. Into the neutral zone. So linesman was a little antsy trying to drop that puck down. Draw one by Formosa. Broncos trying to settle this puck down. They're able to as Niall Mills will gain the zone. Now coming out for the penalty was Donald Danroth out of the box. 30 seconds on this man advantage. Danroth trying to slide it through, and he had Mills if they were able to connect backdoor. Danroth trying to sauce that over York. He's able to, but not able to get a clean shot off. And now we're going to have a penalty being called, and it's going to be a slashing call. And it looks like it's going to be number 16, Brandon Formosa, as he was battling in front with John Studioso, and he ended up slashing the stick out of Studioso's hands. And almost deja vu as what the Sun Devils did, committing a penalty on the power play. The Broncos do it right back. So now it's going to be 17 seconds for Arizona State until they get a 5-on-4 man advantage. Holston and Davies in the circle. Draw one by Holston. Amai's keeping the puck. He gets pressured, puts it up to Studioso. Studioso clap bomb, and that's a block by the defenseman Pertalo. Pertalo dumps it all the way down, but the icing is going to be negated, and Bronson Moore's going to have to play it. Sun Devils are full strength, and this power play is brought to you by Hungry Howie's Flavored Crust Pizza. Holston protecting the puck, cycles it down, a little too strong of a pass as the puck was trying to be cleared by the defenseman Drake Cartwright, but it goes up into the netting and won't allow the Broncos for a change. Pardon me, looks like the referee overruled the linesman, and it's going to allow the Broncos to get some fresh men out. Minute 28 on the man advantage for the Sun Devils with 12:24 in the second period. Looks like Davies was trying to gain a little bit too much of an advantage, and the linesman will throw him out. Joel, not strong enough as it's kept in by the defenseman Budman. Arizona State tries to go to work. It finds Budman. Budman, the wrist shot on. And it's the second big block shot this time for the Broncos. And hobbling is Matt Davies to the bench. Amaya to Klein on the left side. Klein trying to find a pass. He plays it up to the point. Budman. Budman on his backhand. That pass was almost intercepted, but it'll fall to Levi Holston. Holston couldn't get a strong play on it. Now in the corner. As it'll be deflected and tipped away by Alexander Jamath. Jamath pressuring Budman allows his lineman to go for a change. Arizona State in. York. Button hooks at the blue line. Klein in the corner. Fights off a check. He plays it down low. Trying to jam in was Jet Larson, but he just couldn't handle the puck. 30 seconds now on this power play. York had the puck hobbling on him, and Arizona State's going to have to touch up. Coming to the zone, Jet Larson. Larson, tight turn, but that gives it right to Landon Robin for the Broncos. As a forecheck by Jamath as he's trying to strip the puck. Almost able to. Now he gives it to his line mate, Robin. Robin trying to cut through the middle as that'll be poke checked by Klein. He gets it right back. Robin. Robin on the backhand centers that one, and that squirts through. Broncos a good 15 seconds near the end of that penalty to kill it off. Pass intercepted. Klein with the shot. Blocked. Guffey looking behind his back, trying to find a winger. Guffey. Alexis skated out himself. And gives it to Graydon Hull. Hull gets around Adams. Hull looking. Trying to make the pass as it comes off a Mills stick. Mills cycles it down to Graydon Hull. Hull over to Danroth. Broncos still operating the offensive zone. Again, they're going back into that cycle that's been working for them so far. Comes over to Mills. Mills with the shot. Almost ended up hitting his own player, Danroth, in the helmet as Danroth had to dodge his way out of that one. Mills trying to pull the trigger. Adams just enough. And with this soft play, icing's waved off. Campbell has to come behind his own net to get the puck, and he plays out to the neutral zone. Broken breakout, but it still allows the Broncos to gain the offensive line. Hold to Danroth. Aiden Sullivan for Arizona State trying to pin that puck to the boards. But it'll get turned over. Burton. Burton out of the reach for Hull. Adams gets his pass intercepted by Hull. And it's the second effort from Sullivan. Finally dumps it all the way down, but it's going to be an icing call. And with 9:15 in the second period and the 3-1 Central Oklahoma lead, it's going to leave a tired five-man unit out for the Sun Devils. Try one by the Broncos, a shot on. It was Eric Cotton. And now he's hobbling a little bit as he took that shot from Burton right in the shin pad. Broncos are back on as Arizona State wasn't able to get a full change as there's still some tired guys out there. Hilly as it's centered in front, and Bronson Moore had barely any time to react and was able to make the stop. As again, Central Oklahoma has been doing a great job, especially in the offensive zone, controlling the walls and using their body and being able to just center that in front of the crease of Moore as he's had to be alert, trying to read where that pass coming from behind his own net is going to end up being in the slot. Kenneth Miller as he'll check Jake Daughtry into the wall. Wiggins hustling and ends up beating out the icing. Tries to center that. Picked off by Henry Hoffman. And he'll backhand that into the neutral zone. somehow finds its way to the forward Valorant. Valorant ends up getting it stripped away, though, by Budman. Budman evades the forechecker, and he'll throw it over to Wiggins on the far side. Wiggins with the wrist shot, gets his own rebound back. Wiggins unable to keep control of the puck, though. As now the defenseman York, with a nice tight turns, allowed to buy some space. 8 minutes in the second period. It's a 3-1 Broncos lead. Garrett Amaya for Arizona State in the corners, trying to get some help from Levi Holston. Studioso keeps it on the blue line. Studioso down low. Amaya trying to hit the seam pass through. Comes all the way up to York with a shot on. That takes a deflection as Campbell is trying to bargain with the referee that the net came off its moorings, and it finally gets blown down. Far side referees alerting the Central Oklahoma bench and head coach Craig McAllister as it was deemed to be off by the Broncos and will not allow a change. Formosa wins another draw tonight. As that puck will just squirt out, and Arizona State's going to have to touch up. Formosa gains speed. Oh, and he has to be very careful as that was a hospital pass almost to his line mate Alston Cunningham. As Studioso was really licking his chops at that opportunity to lay down a big open ice hit. Broncos are going to have to touch up. Studioso with a floater pass. Jet Larson's unable to make a tape-to-tape pass in the neutral zone. Both teams are trying to gain the zone now. That finally does. Block shot from Jamath. And Moore had to be alert trying to find that puck after it got deflected by his defenseman York. Under 7 minutes in the second period. No scoring so far, but a few good chances for both teams. Puck in the offensive zone for the Broncos, won by Holston. Amaya, he's able to strip it and have some speed. Gailey's on the far side. It's going to be a quick 2-on-1 opportunity. Great back check by Landon Robin as he's able to intercept the pass and now allow the Broncos to go the other way. Great pass, and it looks like they're onside. Robin with a short angle shot, and will miss a little high. Gage Joel. Joel trying to fight his way to the front of the net. Up to the point. Shot on from Durbinick as they're trying to find it. Durbinick pinching in, trying to keep the puck for the Broncos. Amaya. He'll staple to the boards, Matt Davies. And it looks like there's some intervention with the hand caught by the far side linesman as they're going to do the up and down hand motion, alerting the call. Have to highlight a great defensive play by Landon Robin, one of the upperclassmen on this Central Oklahoma team, as they've made nationals 4 straight years, and it's with plays like that. As the puck's teetering on the blue line, it'll finally come for Arizona State. Elizadeh's trying to get in on the forecheck. Broncos will control it, but it'll only go out to the neutral zone. Budman has to be careful. Kowalczyk gives him some help. Harrell plays it down low. Elizadehe battling with Burton. Mills helping out his defenseman, but he can't get it out of the way. Fake shot by Kowalczyk to Harrell. Harrell. Sullivan trying to get that shot on, and that was a kneeling block by Davin Burton. Broncos now with speed to the neutral zone. Danroth. Danroth, he'll slow it down. That'll find Graydon Hull, but he's unable to handle it. Now could be a 2-on-1 opportunity now for the Sun Devils. Palumbo with the wrist shot, and good job by Campbell to be alert and take that rebound array, or else it was Jacob Lester at the doorstep. And with 5 minutes and 7 seconds left in the second period, it's still a 3-1 Broncos lead. Shots by the scorekeeper are 19 for the visitor Broncos and 15 for the Sun Devils. Again, pretty even in that respect all night. Palumbo wins the draw, but it'll be good hustle by the Broncos to win that puck. Moore, and he's going to have to blow the whistle down. Again, folks, thank you for tuning in tonight to Arizona State Hockey YouTube. Puck's now going to be to the right of Moore. Draw one by Hilly as that shot ended up being blocked. Wiggins gains the red. He's trying to fight through a check, and now he's trying to go in hot pursuit. A nice reverse play by the defenseman Hoffman is going to allow the Broncos to go for a change. Puck ends up being deemed by the linesman. No icing. Lester cutting through the left side. Lester ends up beating a check, and getting thrown down is Palumbo by the forward Valorand. Broncos now coming out of their own end. It'll be Daughtry. Daughtry trying to fight his way in front. This is a 4-car pile up in front as it was Daughtry trying to force the issue. Formosa backhands out one to his defenseman, Alex Durbernick. Durbernick trying to go for the far side pass. It'll find Cunningham. Cunningham rims it back around, but the puck will die right in front of Jack York. Air in play, and Lester's going to go for a change for the Sun Devils. 3:50 in the second period. Broncos again threatening, a shot on as Moore is able to belly lit. Again, no scoring in this second period, but good opportunities for both teams. A little even 4-on-4 hockey as well. Puck's kept in by Durbernick. Durbernick rims it down. Formosa trying to center that one in front. Not getting good wood on it is Durbernick, and it'll allow Sun Devils to break out their own zone. Budman a little too fancy of a pass, will turn it over. Cunningham and Kowalchuk are hustling to the puck. Olsen helps out his defensive partner, but an errant pass is Moore has to be alert. We're going to have a little pushing and shoving again as both of these teams have been competing really hard as all the way up until the whistle. It looks like we're going to be having a penalty. It ends up going to be given to number 14, Austin Cunningham, as the refs are talking about it now in the referee's crease. So it ends up going to be a slashing call. Looks like Austin Cunningham when he was going in on the forecheck in the offensive zone. It's going to allow Arizona State on their third power play of the game. As assistant coach for the Sun Devils, Jim Nellis and Chad Bailey are trying to get out the right personnel. Larson wins the draw. Alexander Dramaff's unable to clear it, as Jet Larson keeps it in for the Sun Devils. Both teams are bobbing for it. Finally, we'll just squirt out into the neutral zone as Arizona State's going to have to touch up quickly. And this power play is brought to you by Kowalchuk Construction, a family company. Budman's going to slow it down as it allow the full ice regroup to try to come up with some momentum and speed out of their own zone. Budman again has to come back. The Studioso with the errant pass, as a very unclean breakout is going to allow the Broncos in now on an offensive opportunity on the penalty kill. Arizona State will go for a change with some of the forward grouping. Jet Larson cutting through the middle, couldn't pull the trigger. Budman trying to center that one, but it was a read by Gage Joel to get his stick in the passing lane, and we'll go for a whistle. 2:18 in the second period, a little slow of a period with so many penalties being called on both teams. Holston and Robin in on the draw, one by Holston. Amaya trying to do a quick turn. He plays it up to the point. York slides it over to Kowalczyk with that shot, and that'll float up in the air off a deflection by the forward Gage Joel's stick. Amaya trying to get it up, but it was a good read by Robin to intercept it. Now a 2-on-2 opportunity. Robin getting the puck back from Joel. And now they elect to just pin it and try to eat some time on this clock. 25 seconds left, maybe just one more opportunity for the Sun Devils on this power play. Holston, it'll find Gavin Klein. Klein drops it down to Holston. Holston trying to look at the defense, but he rims it back down in his own zone. Kowalczyk at the point. Kowalczyk went for the redirection from Klein. It was a good idea, but Klein had a little too much loft. Ends up sending the puck into the rafters and for a stoppage in play. There's going to have to be some good bench communication coming from Arizona State, alerting that weak side defenseman of that Broncos player that's going to be coming out of the box in about 4 seconds. Farrell's going to be in the draw with Mills. Kept in by Kowalczyk. Kowalczyk slides it over to Budman. Budman. Shot pass. Cotton couldn't handle the pass, but he still gets a shot off. As if Cotton could have cleaned it, he could have had his first ACHA career goal. Wide open back door. Sullivan couldn't handle it with the pass in his skates. Mills lays it over to Danroth. Danroth couldn't handle the pass. He tries to center that in front. Under 60 seconds in this second period. The Broncos are in the offensive zone trying to add to it. Mills still has it. Turning in a phone booth. Kowalczyk. He'll backhand that, trying to reach his forward Cotton. Cotton does just enough to ship that out into the neutral zone. 35 seconds left now. Budman pinching, and he'll create the turnover. Budman sauce it over to Cotton. Cotton trying to handle that puck. He's unable to. Cotton gets it right back, though, from Sullivan. Guffey backhands it up to his forward Hole. Hole with that shot. That's blocked by Kowalczyk with his knee pad. Danroth. Danroth to Hole. They'll find Burton coming out. Burton with that quick shot, and it's another block by Eric Cotton, and he's asking for a change. As both teams are slowing down and just going to let the period expire. Again, no scoring for both teams this second frame. But it had to be good goaltending on both sides by Campbell and Moore. And folks, come back in just about 15 minutes for the start of this third period. And at the end of 2 periods, it's the number 10 University of Central Oklahoma Broncos 3 and the Arizona State Sun Devils 1. This is Arizona State Hockey YouTube. Hello everyone and welcome back to Arizona State Hockey YouTube's presentation of tonight's third period. As the visiting number 10 ranked Central Oklahoma Broncos have a 3-1 lead against Arizona State. The word from both dressing rooms is for the Broncos, it's going to be a good test for them to try and really close this one out and get this 3-game weekend started off on a good start with a win here in Tempe. And for Arizona State, it's important for them to know that they only really need one shot and they're back in this hockey game and really change the dynamics if they can cut down the lead to 3-2. As everybody's settled in at Oceanside Ice Arena and the third period has started. Broncos are off and going again. It'll be Dan Roth with a shot on block by Kowalchuk, but it was a trailer that time. Hull was able to follow up. Good defensive play by the wingers for Arizona State to allow the defense to break out. Kowalchuk has to get rid of that quick. He'll just throw it down deep. Holston trying to work on it, and he'll get thrown down to the ice by the Broncos player. And now off to the races of Graydon Hull. Hull trying to get around Budman. Budman doing a great job of just watching his body, not the puck. Now he's rewarded and is able to get the puck out, and he'll play it in the direction of Campbell, and that'll negate the icing as both teams go for a change. Puck gets played around Eric Cotton, and Landon Robin for Central Oklahoma couldn't get that one in deep. Now regrouping in their own end. Gage Joel. Joel on his backhand. Centers that one in front as Cotton's able to get a stick on it. Sullivan has a puck pinned up against that blue line. Hurl for Arizona State now. Plays it off to his line mate Cotton. Cotton will chip that in and try to retrieve it himself. He will. Backhands that one in front, but none of his line mates are there to help. Soft chip. Gets intercepted by defenseman Dylan Adams. Adams a backhander, but that'll be picked off. Both players are chopping at it, and now Gavin Klein for Arizona State will play one in on Campbell. Campbell leaves it for his defenseman Jared Guffey. Guffey with a tight turn, and he slows it down behind his own net. 18 minutes in this third period. It's a 3-1 Broncos lead. With speed, Formosa corrals it behind his own net. But that interception by Jet Larson, and he gets it right back. Larson with the shot on, as that was a block shot by the defenseman Alex Durbanik. Both teams really paying the price in terms of block shot department tonight. Cunningham gets thrown to the floor. It ends up being played illegally by Cunningham, and it's going to be a center ice zone draw. For Arizona State, they're going to be at home all weekend as they'll be visiting University of Oklahoma Sooners. Saturday and Sunday we'll have that broadcast with you. Pardon me, Friday, Saturday. York will go for the reverse pass. Studioso indirectly to Wiggins. Wiggins in the neutral zone. And he'll get around and make that play over to Lester. Lester trying to backhand that one, but it was Hoffman riding him to the boards. Centered out in front by Wiggins, intercepted by Cartwright. Arizona State regrouping the neutral zone. Studioso will just get that shot on Campbell and force him to cover it. 17 minutes in the last stanza of tonight in this meeting between both of these teams. On a season outlook, Central Oklahoma is well on their way of being able to contend again for another national title. For Arizona State, they're outside looking in right now, but still a lot of games left and a lot of games at home. Pass a little too hot for Bubban to handle, but he's able to recover defensively. Picked off by Chris Hilly. He'll fork that on over to his playing partner, Jake Daughtry. Daughtry button hooking at the half wall, trying to lay and just looking for an open player. Holston's finally able to suffocate him. And Gailey will play that puck over to Budman. Budman, a little too hot as he's trying to get a redirection tip from Amaya, but he doesn't get it, and it's going to be now an icing call. And it's a tired 5-man unit out for the Sun Devils. And for UCO, you have to think this is a great opportunity to really put this game away. Mills and Holston in the circle left of Moore. Danroth, he tries to pull the trigger, and is Holston being alert, blocking that shot in his shin pads. Mills trying to center that one for a hole. Taken away, Amaya, Sun Devils off the races. Bumman jumping up in the play. Little too high of a pass, and Holston gets ridden to the boards. Mills. Board pass, and Hole's trying to get it out of his skates, and he's finally able to and get it all the way deep. Moore plays it. Floats it past to York. York up the strong side boards. That'll be picked off. Mills gets the puck. He gets that quick snapshot on, and Moore's able to make a leg save. Danroth switches it to the other side, gets it right back from Hole, but that center ice pass will be intercepted. Arizona State trying to go for a quick change as Hull's forced to go all the way in his own end by Amaya. 15:30 in this third period. 3-1 UCO. Aiden Sullivan trying to collect it. Elizade will try to chip that one in, but it gets intercepted by Burton. Davies trying to figure out where that puck is. It ends up being on the stick of Studioso. Elizade caught in his skates, had to be alert of the player Landon Robin, and looks like Central Oklahoma was in the zone illegally. Really amazing what head coach Craig McAllister and his coaching staff has done with Central Oklahoma, of being able to contend year in and year out and have that sustained performance. Something Arizona State at the ACHA level are trying to replicate and try to get back to that esteemed program of once they once were. UCO gaining the ice. This is a block by Dylan Adams, allows Arizona State to go on a 3-on-2 opportunity. Klein, a little too fancy, trying to get around the defenseman, Alex Durbernick. Being really aggressive now as Kenneth Miller may be a little too aggressive. It's going to be an elbowing call, as it makes sense for Arizona State down 2 goals in this third period to try to be a little more aggressive with their defenseman pitching, but ended up being a little too aggressive by Miller as it was an elbowing to the Broncos player Matt Davies. Again, something for UCO to try to work on. They haven't been too clinical on the power play tonight. Something they can work on the special teams is something very important when it comes to postseason time. Kowalchuk, he tries to lift that out, but that'll be kept in by the Broncos. Cycling back down, Danroth up to Formosa. Formosa up to the point. Durbernick slides it on over to Robin. Also have to give ASU a little credit too tonight, reworking their penalty kill. Formosa cycles it back down. Played by Durbernick. Durbernick fakes the pass, goes down for the shot. Looking through, and it squirts out to Robin backdoor. And the Sun Devils are just enough to slow that pass down to be able to allow Moore to make a save on the far side. Minute 24 on the penalty to Kenneth Miller for the Sun Devils. 13:48 in the third period. Still a 2-goal hockey game. Formosa wins the draw for the Broncos. Robin down low to the half wall, finds Mills. Formosa trying to slide that one up through, looking for the saucer passes. York did a good job being able to take away the ice level. Cycling back down. Mills, little pitch and catch with Formosa up to the point. Robin. It's a right back. Takes the shot. Robin. Trying to get that shot through. That's blocked by Formosa's own play a little too high. And Gavin Klein tries to force the issue for Arizona State. Klein had trouble controlling that puck, and he ends up putting himself offside. Now about 52 seconds left on the man advantage. Arizona State again doing a good job of allowing UCO to just keep the possession of the puck out to the side wall and not penetrate into the slot. And then this is a new one. Looks like the linesman throwing both of them out there. Looks like he's doing some jumping jacks out there on the ice. Will be collected by Central Oklahoma. Trying to gain some speed is Matt Davies. Davies going to have to hit the brakes, but he's able to find number 9, Alex Jamafe. Down into the weak side. It'll be floated upon. That shot on as it was Yager Larson able to front the shooter, Matt Davies, and block his shot. Joel trying to get that shot through. That's again blocked, but it sputtering up above. And it was a high stick touch by the Broncos, and the faceoff's going to be outside. Really good effort for both teams, but especially Arizona State in this third period of really paying the price and blocking those shots or just getting sticks in lanes. Simple stuff when mastered, and that can be a big crucial help in the defensive end. "16 seconds left is, what do you know, another Sentiment's thrown out of the draw. Budman plays it down to Kowalchuk as he'll opt for the pass. Hurl. It looks like Aiden Sullivan wasn't ready for it, and he gets pinned to the boards by Davies. Coming up with speed is the defenseman Pertalo. Sun Devils are now full strength. They've killed that penalty, and they still have kept it to only a 2-goal deficit. Sullivan a little too hard and will not allow Arizona State to go for a change, as both defensemen have been out there for almost half the power play. They're going to have to be stuck out there for a little more. 12-10 in this third period. We say thank you so much for tuning in tonight to Arizona State Hockey YouTube. Please make sure to hit the subscribe button to not miss out on any future games. Draw one by Hurl. D-to-D pass out of reach of Kowalchuk. Now it's up into skates. Digging for it. Jake Daughtry's able to get it. Dan Roth now slides on over to the weak side. Sullivan almost blew a tire. Now allow the Broncos to have possession with it. Daughtry has the puck, matriculating down in the offensive zone. Daughtry gets rushed. Dan Roth could be a 2-on-1 opportunity. Dan Roth looking for the pass. That was a good intervention by the weak side winger Eric Cotton to be able to lift the stick of Mills. Great defensive play as UCO did a great job working the offensive end to almost have a golden opportunity. Hoffman's going to backhand that one in his own zone. Arizona State trying to be a little aggressive on the forecheck, trying to cause that turnover. Mills with speed. Fighting off a couple of forecheckers. Klein will intercept it. Puck will get chipped in the Arizona State end. Miller will find his partner Adams. Adams a soft chip off the glass. It'll be collected by Alex Durbanik. Joel gets it pickpocketed by Jet Larson. Larson trying to find somebody right in front, but Yager was a little too far away. Trying to dig for it in the corner. Klein unable to get it. Puck floats up to the neutral zone. Adams stands up, Gage Joel. Klein has to be a little more diligent in the neutral zone. Gets that puck pickpocketed away. Jared Guffey. He'll find Robin cutting through the middle, and that backhand was high. Yager Larson throws down the defenseman, Alex Durbanek. I don't think he was ready for that one. Maybe a little woozy, ends up turning the puck over to Kenneth Miller. Puck will be trying to be handled by Matt Davies, but ends up being sticked away, and it'll be an offensive zone draw for the Sun Devils with 9:44 in this third period. Holston and Formosa. Draw one by the Sun Devils. Geely unable to make the pass. York keeps it in for Arizona State. Burton behind his own net evades the forecheck of Holston. Puck's finally cleared out, maybe a little too strong. Jamath's trying to race with York. York just able to get his body in front to not allow Jamath to take a straight lane to the puck. It's going to end up being another offensive zone draw for Arizona State from the hustle by York. Puck on the sidewall. Studiosa will pinch in. It'll fall to Geely. Geely trying to backhand that one. Intercepted by Burton. Burton with the puck. He gains the blue line. Burton trying to find a passer. He gets that shot on, looking for that redirection, but it went over the net. Studioso trying to hustle and beat for most of the puck. He will. Smart pinch by Cunningham. Trying to center that one in front for Jamae. A little too behind him, and now Arizona State with numbers the other way. And a defensive intervention by number 20, Spencer Pertalo, to not allow Arizona State on the rush. Again, end-to-end action now. It comes right back to him. Bertalo slides it on over for Formosa on the one-timer shot. Misses high. Budman, he pokes out in the neutral zone, but he ends up taking a hit. Trying to get up to his feet. Budman is as play continues. Formosa. That'll find a hole. Dan Ross trying to lay that down as the puck is frozen, and it looks like it's going to be a delayed call. Looks like it's going to be a hooking call. Looks like the referee's talking. It's like it's going to be a hooking call to Zachary Kowalchuk for Arizona State. Definitely something the Sun Devils can't do if they really want to try to climb back into this one with 8 minutes and 18 seconds left. It's going to be the top power play line out for the Broncos, and it looks like Dan Roth is talking with some of his line mates. Looks like he was giving the animation of trying to spread the puck out. Robin wins it on his forehand. Formosa at the line. Durbanek. Down low, Dan Roth faking, but an errant pass by him, almost got it turned over, but he's still able to collect it. Dan Roth, a backhand pass. Formosa touches it over to Durbanek. Mills. Up top, Durbanek trying to get that shot through, and Hurl makes the block. Shot on another block, this time by Palumbo. Arizona State already on the shift, 2 block shots and 2 big key ones as well. 30 seconds has passed already on this man advantage as UCO is going to get their second unit out. Little frustration shown on the Broncos side as there's a stick being knocked into the boards. Davies goes on his one knee and is able to win it. Jamafe on over. Puck's being played around. Jamafe. Studioso trying to get there, but it gets poked away from him. Great in hole. Down low. They're trying to slide it on over, and they have it. Gage Joel on the back door as it was finally, they were working the puck, cycling on, and then on the weak side, having that guy to slide over on that back post, trying to put that saucer pass away, and they finally get it to connect. And the Broncos take a 4-1 lead.